My name is Imran, a gold level IELTS trainer, and today I'm gonna arrange a mock test of the student name is Tosif Khaled. This mock test will be from book 14 and it will be test 1. So you can prepare according to that guide and you can check whether you have the same mistakes in your speaking or not. So this is a sample test and the student will try to attain band 6.5. So let's see how is it possible. Let's start our lesson today. Assalamu alaikum. So, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
I am fine, sir.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Tosif Khalid.
Tosif, may I see your proof of identification, please?
Yes, of course. Yes, sir.
How do you spell your name?
Well, it's Tosif, Tousef, Tosif.
Okay, thank you very much. That's fine.
Thank you.
So, how is the weather outside, Tosif?
It's sunny outside.
Okay. So, what type of weather do you like?
Well, I'm more like winter season.
Winter?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's talk about future.
Okay, sir.
What job would you like to have 10 years from now, and why?
Well, I think I would have a businessman, a well-known businessman, or maybe at managerial level in next 10 years. In my profession, like I have been graduated in a computer science degree, so I like to serve in a computer telecommunication industry as a manager.
Okay. So thank you. Next question is, how useful will English be for you for your future and why do you think?
Well, I think as far as my future is concerned, English would be a great helpful for me as I am planning to study abroad for higher education. Maybe I plan to admission in a PhD degree in a computer science. So in that perspective, English language would help me a lot as if I go to the abroad. It's helped me to communicate local people as well to more focus and understand my study material. So English would be a great advantage for me.
Okay. How much traveling do you have? Do you hope to do in your future?
Well, as I have said earlier, that I am planning to to go abroad for higher study. Maybe I start business in some other country. So traveling may be much often in future. So I think traveling would be I will do a lot of traveling in my near future.
Okay. So how do you think your life will change in the future and why do you think so?
Well, according to me, as my future is concerned, as my life concerned in the next future, I think I got a good job to start my practical life. Maybe I got an MBA soon after I get job. So in that respect, life would become busy and hectic.
Okay, thank you. Now, it's the end of part 1. Now we'll work on the part 2. I'm going to give you a topic and you have to speak on the topic for 1 to 2 minutes if you like, but before that you have 1 minute to make the hints about that particular topic. So here is the topic for you. I'm going to give you the complete book because it is book 14. So here's the test and you can make hints about that for 1 minute and your hint making time starts now. Okay, please stop writing. Now your time is going to start about the topic. You can see the topic and your hints together at the same time if you like, and then you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Your speaking time starts now. Please stop.
Well, there are a lot of books I have read in my life, but specifically when I about to start my new business after completing my studies, I have done my computer science degree, master's degree in computer science. So I have to start some business related to computer technology. So I end up with a plan to start a business of laptops and computer sales. So I have read some quotes on internet and notes. Especially, I have seen a video of Qasim Ali Shah where he described his book Business Management. So I decided to read that book. I search on market to buy that book of Qasim Ali Shah, name as a business management. When I bought that book at home, bring that home and start reading. So I was astonished by reading all the content of this book. There is a life motivation book, lessons on it, how you deal with people, how to communicate, how to assess people's personality, and how to manage your business, your income, your expenditures to maximize your profit, to overcome your how to overcome your deficiencies. So this book helped me a lot in my business as well as in my personal life. So I learned there is a lot of things I have adopted from that book to my personal life while I am talking to my families, to my friends, to my colleagues, to the customers in the business world. So I think that book give me a lot of edge in the business and the personal life as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's talk about in part 3. Let's talk about children and reading. What are the most popular type of children's books in your country?
Well, in children of my country, there are a lot of books that children interested to read, like comics books, a detective type of book, fairy tales. Like comics books are more popular in younger children's. Detective books are popular in adult or more younger than younger children's, and fairy tales are popular in girls.
Okay, so what are the benefits of parents reading books to their children?
Well, I think children mimic their parents, so it's a good habit for of reading books. If parents read book in front of their children, like telling their reading books or telling their bedtime stories, so it's a good practice that children will adopt from their parents.
Should parents always let children choose the books they read?
Well, I think parents should have to educate children what kind of books and materials they have to read, either related to their studies or related to their life improvement, their character improvement. So I think children should be given free hand before parents have to educate them what kind of material they have to read.
So, how popular are electronic books in your country nowadays?
Well, nowadays, as the electronic books are concerned, I think as the advancement in technology, internet become very handy nowadays. So people in my country nowadays become well aware of internet and well aware of online study material. So electronic books become more popular nowadays. As for instance, I prefer more electronic books in my smartphone or either in my PC to read more rather than carrying a hefty amount of books by my own.
What are the advantages of parents reading electronic books compared to the printed books?
Well, I think there are some important benefits of reading electronic books that I have already said that there are tons of material, study material, books like fairy tales, detective kind of books and comic books available on the internet. We have tons of books in a small amount of storage rather than carrying a have bag full of books. physical books and carrying them from one place to another.
Do you think will electronic books ever completely replace printed books in future?
I don't think electronic book will completely replace printed book because printed books are the charm of is the essence of our tradition. So reading a physical book, printed book, give us the charm and essence of reading what are we have in our hand. Or on the other hand, electronic books are more affordable, cheap, and affordable in terms of we carry in terms of electronic books in our smartphone.
Thank you very much. That is the end of the test.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's discuss about the problem that you had during the test. So first of all, I would like to explain part
Okay.
1 and then part 2 and then part 3. So first of all, the part 1, it was actually the mock test. So in the part 1, you should, and everyone should try to work according to the R method. R method means answer, reason, and example. You were giving answer in R according to the R method in the part 1, the 2 early questions of part 1, but when you talked about the part 1's last 2 questions, you really went away from that. So what to do is, you have to keep in mind that what is the method. Method should be in the brain, that you should be considering while speaking that. You should consider while speaking that you are answering now you are giving reasons, now you are performing as examples over there. Now, the positive thing is that you are logical. This were very positive, and your ideas were logical, and the start was very nice. And moreover, I would say you use the word slightly uncommon phrase, that as far as, then you use the word maybe, so it is positive. And you also use the word I think. So think is actually a lower word, a lower category word, and try to avoid using the word think, I think, and I don't think so. It is very common, and you actually spoke that. Now, next word that you have spoken was concern. And you used as far as that concern, as far as that concern, and you repeated those structures, and don't try to repeat the structures. Repetition kills. So everyone who is really watching this video should keep in mind that the repetition kills, and don't repeat the sentences or the words, and try to add more ideas in your speaking too. So you have in part 2, you have explained use of how for 4 to 5 times. So try to avoid that and don't repeat the words. While you're speaking, you were actually at another place, and the speaking was another place. I want to say that was not speaking. You were not speaking in the way that you were feeling the words. So there were no sentiments or the feelings or the emotions explained in the word. So what to do is, you have to come out of this and try to feel the word and then explain. Yes, flow of speaking was positive, and you were really giving the answer in a flow. So I would like to say that fluency was little better, and so you use the simple sentence as far as the grammatical structures are concerned and lexical resources. So the words were very simple. Try to add slightly uncommon words, and the structures, the grammatical structures were also very simple. You didn't use even one passive voice sentence in your speaking. Try to add passive voice sentences, then add active voices, passive voices, amalgamation of these two, and moreover, you should try to add the use of being, could, would, should, and in this way there should be proper control in your speaking, which was really lacking over here. Then you should try to add some complex and compound structures too. You can prolong the sentence by adding the word and, or, furthermore. So the connectives were not used properly, but you have used some of the good characters and connectors. That was great. You spoke the words children's. Children is not the word. Actually, the word is child, and the plural of the child is children, and there's no word like children's. So try to avoid such words. Then you use the non-IELTS words, and that was the mimic their parents. The children mimic their parents. So mimic is actually informal. Try to use the copy. The children love to copy or act as they see their parents are doing. So the positive thing that which I found in your speaking was you were using the word either in a good way. So this was very positive. And should be given free hand. This was the only one positive passive voice that you have used there in the part 2. Then again you spoke the word books are concerned, and you were repeating the word. Then I think was the word, and the negative point that I have seen that you use the word early said. Because this is a formal test, if you will say that I have already told you, it means that it is that you were sometimes trying to degrading the examiner or whatever. So try to minimize these type of the words to use. Then you have spoken the word because, and no, I will say that your pronunciation was good and every word was clear and audible and I could understand every word. So in pronunciation I would like to give you the 6 band. Okay, and it was good, nice to listen, but it wasn't showing the full class which is really required for the band 7 and 8. So it was really stable. Lexical resources were also just according to the demand, but it was not really fulfilling the requirement. So I would like to give you the 6 in that too. But the ideas were good. You were logical. And you were using some good connectives. So in connectives and discourse markers, I would like to add 7 bands in that. So, but in the fluency, you were really good fluent speaker. So fluency was good, and you were not struggling. So I would like to give you 7 in that because there was a perpetual flow. So total band might be aggregate 6.5 according to me. So what to do is try to add words, add slightly uncommon words, try to add more complex structures, try to feel the word and then explain and become a good storyteller.